I'm on fire with email signature.
This entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gab-fed show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Get ready for an epic collaboration as MB Radio and Patriot Radio join forces. These veteran-owned stations are uniting to bring you top-notch, veteran-run podcasts, along with your favorite classic rock music 24/7. Stay tuned for the ultimate radio experience that celebrates our heroes and plays the tunes that never get old. From engaging discussions to timeless hits, this partnership has everything you need for your listening pleasure. Don't miss out on this exciting new chapter in radio history as MB Radio and Patriot Radio come together to rock your world.
All right. Welcome, everyone. This is Money in the Military on Military Broadcast Radio, where we're giving veterans a voice. And I have some special guests here today from QRF Up. I mentioned them previously in another episode. Just wanted to have them on and really just kind of pick their brains and just kind of get a vibe of what their mission is and what they're doing to help veterans. So we got Adam Peters and Mark Messina. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Yeah, man, thanks for having us, dude.
Yeah, man, of course. For those of you who are maybe new to the broadcast or new to the show, this is Money in the Military. It kind of started off as just giving financial advice to military members and veterans, and it's kind of evolved into just providing different types of help for veterans in any way that I can provide a platform for. While this is kind of money adjacent, I do think that this is an important organization, important topic, dealing with veteran suicide. So, I just wanted to highlight this organization and provide them a platform on MBR and just kind of, just, hey, these people are doing some great things. So just wanted to kind of give it a little bit of an intro. And I guess to kind of start things off, let's go ahead and maybe give a little bit of a brief background on yourselves individually, and then we can talk a little bit about the organization after that. So maybe a little bit about your military background, and we'll start from there. How about you, Adam? Let's start with you.
Yeah, man. I was in the Army from June of 2003 to November of 2015. I was an infantryman, did 3 to Iraq, 1 to Afghanistan. Got out, spent a lot of time in a really dark place. Not a great place to be, as I'm sure all of us on this show can relate to. Got hooked up with a veterans charity that sent me to Peru to kind of get a cheat code to get me out of my own way and help me start living life, in a better way. Started my company, The Strategic Veteran. That's how I met Mark, through my podcast. Mark said he had an opportunity for me. He needed some solid dudes to come help a nonprofit. Took the meeting with QRF Up and became the recruiting director, man, and been running with it since day one, trying to get all the responders and mental health care professionals that we need to make the app come to life. So that's kind of my origin story.
Nice. Okay. All right, Mark, let's hear your origin story.
Hey everybody. So Mark Messina. I joined up in the Army at the tail end of 2009, and I was medically retired in September of just this last year. So just about a year out at this point. 11 series, Afghanistan, Iraq, Northern Africa, South America, all over the place. spent a good, obviously the majority of my adult life in the military, and I got out and I kind of went into the same route Adam did, and I started getting into that hole. But I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I knew I wanted to go that. So I went and I co-founded, and I'm the CEO of Gray Group Tactical currently. And I linked up with QRF Up actually through an affiliate of mine. She reached out and she was like, "Mark, you should go talk to these guys, and they're doing some really cool stuff. They are saying the exact same BS that you are, right?" And yeah, I took the meeting and I walked out as the marketing and communications director, and then somehow talked myself into fruition with taking on the VP role. So through that I've brought on some other folks as well too. Just recruiting from our community and finding the right people to build out the right team to actually get things done. So, it's been a journey, it's been a road, and yeah, just kind of cranking at it still.
Yeah. So let's back up a little bit because I know some people might be coming to this cold, and so just give a give us a brief origin story of the QRF Up, and then what you guys are trying to do, your visions, your goals, and then we can kind of maybe talk about it a little bit on the tail end of that.
Yeah, of course. So QRF Up originated with our founder Ram. And he started it because obviously he was in a dark place himself. He knew what that felt. He also lost a family member to suicide directly, and that affected him deeply. So he started this and completely out of his own pocket, and kind of working on it and growing it all the way up to the pilot, and that's kind of where I came in. But at the end of the day, QRF Up is an application that is for active duty service members, veterans, first responders, and their families. All right. What it kind of curtails and goes into is that, you can download the application. You obviously have to get vetted through either ID Me or, our vetting forms that we have sent out. The app goes live for your phone. And if you find yourself in crisis, you hit the red hot button. All right. And that button will get you in immediate contact with a mental health provider that is licensed in your area, right? Because that is a friction point with us going nationwide. We need licensed mental health providers in each state. Each state has different requirements, such forth. But it gets them in touch with a mental health provider right then and there. All right, we're not sitting here waiting on the phone for 45 minutes. We're not doing that because we're able to curtail it to a niche market. Right now, I say niche, right? We're still talking 61 million people in total across the United States, but compared to the 300 million, it's much smaller. You know what I mean? So, but with that,
Mhm.
once you're on the phone, that mental health provider gives you the opportunity to de-escalate the situation, right? And they'll walk you through it. They have metrics that they're following. All right. And if they feel that they were able to de-escalate the situation, they're going to put you on a timer. All right. And depending on the severity and where you landed in the metric, dictates the time that you go on the timer for, right? Um, Once that timer goes in, you see it on your phone under your application. It's on their screen and saved. You have to call that that mental health provider back directly to do your check-in. All right. Um, if you fail to call them back, or they don't think that you're ready for the timer, that you do need to go seek, a higher echelon of care, that they can't de-escalate over the phone, that's when they'll bring in one of our responder teams, and a notification will go out to the responders within a 100-mile radius, to where then they can go, and it's a guy like myself, Adam, or anybody out there that is in our responder community that's gone through our training, can get out there, show up, and be like, "Hey, brother, like, I know you're having a rough day, and it ain't great. You know what I mean? Like, you're a lot bigger than me, so I don't want to have to force you in my truck, but I need you to get in my truck with me, and we're gonna go get some help." You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah.
So, and then we can escort them to a higher level of care. But
Mm.
the kind of key points that I want to put in with that is, right, is the timer is huge, right? Because that's that immediate follow up, and then if they make that call back, okay, cool. We set you up with an appointment within the next couple of days, compared to, what you're dealing with the VA is 6 months, 7 months to get
Mhm.
a BH appointment, dude. Like, it's not
Yeah.
happening. So, we can get it done quickly with the partnerships that we've gotten in all of our aftercare programs. And we can help facilitate that, right? The next major part that I want to talk about, and this is honestly my favorite part of the app, is that it gives you an option with the responders to alert 911, right? So, and that's on the end user, that's not on the therapist, right? So for guys who don't want the police coming or don't want to do that because they're in that fight or flight response, that's a big deal, right? Like I have 3 friends who they're in jail now for assaulting a peace officer.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, and not at the police officer's fault, right? Like they have protocols, they have to follow certain procedures. You know what I mean? And I get that, right? Like I'm not blue bashing. Please don't take it that way. But at the end of the day, like sometimes that's not the escalation that they need in that fight or flight response. And we can be better equipped to help de-escalate and get them home safe. Which is really obviously the main end goal, right? So that is just kind of down and dirty of what the app is and kind of where it came from. Adam, do you have anything else to kind of add on that or plug into it?
No, man. I like, obviously you've got this down pat. The huge part is we're not just crisis response. We really do put an emphasis on partnerships with other companies and nonprofits to help with the aftercare. So we're not just leaving you in the wind after you kind of de-escalate one situation to deal with, the situation later on. And I know for me personally, and my past life, right, that could have been super handy to not have to wait 6 months to go see behavioral health, right? We're working with some organizations that can probably get you in as soon as like a couple of days later, maybe even the very next day. We're not just de-escalating, but we're helping with financial assistance, housing assistance, job placement, outdoor adventure wellness therapy type stuff, right? Plant medicines are huge, right? Like there's so many different modalities and different companies that we're partnered with to really help the overall health of the veteran and first responder and their families.
Yeah. So that's really, I actually do want to talk about the recruitment side of this, Adam. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll have a little musical break. And then after we get back, I do want to talk a little bit about what you guys are trying to do when it comes to recruitment. All right. So we're going to play a little musical break, and we'll be back right after this.
Another regular day, nobody knows. It's that time, he's coming home to them from a foreign land. He pulls up, his mama cries, looks at daddy with tears in his eyes and says, nothing feels better than this. Couple of months go by and no one sees. Something just ain't right, only wants his peace. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free and put his mind at ease. We will help, 'cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22-0 again. He gets help, but he still feels off. Sees an ad on the TV about a dog bad and said, this is a man's best friend. Whoa, so he goes one day and he picks it up. Never thought a dog could bring so much love and put a smile on his face. But he's finally found a saving grace. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free. Put his mind at ease. We will help cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22-0 again. Whoa, whoa. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free. Put his mind at ease. We will help cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22-0 again.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
All right, we're back. This is Money in the Military on Military Broadcast Radio. We're talking with some members from QRF Up, which is a great organization that's trying to help veterans that are in crisis. And before the break, we were talking about, the overall mission of the QRF Up and the app and everything. But I wanted to kind of touch base with Adam and talk about the recruitment side of things, because from what I'm gathering, you guys, you need people. You need people at this point to kind of help spread the love, spread the workload out. And obviously this is a national thing, so you guys need people all across the nation to kind of help out. So what kind of recruitment efforts are you guys looking at getting into?
Hey man, so we have several different regions across the United States, all broken up into state. Those will go underneath region leaders. So we have 5 of the regions covered already. I'm still looking for 3 more. We also need somewhere between 15 and 20,000 total responders to pull this off. We're also going to need somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 mental health care providers. I know you have already signed up to be one of those, so super grateful for you on that. That looks like anybody with a master's of social work or greater that's licensed in the state to conduct those activities. And we have a launch plan figured out, and I'm sure Mark will chew my ass if I'm not supposed to talk about this, but we're going to do a soft launch on a state-by-state basis come November 11th. So in order to qualify for that in your state, you're going to need to have a minimum of 7 mental health care providers and 100 responders. That's the bare minimum in order to roll this out in your state. What that's going to allow us to do is work out all of the kinks, as so many people will be downloading this across the nation, right? Before we do the full-scale launch in May of next year on Memorial Day. And in order to get hard launched in your state, you're going to have the full, accoutrement of responders and healthcare professionals. So, I'm doing a social media campaign, 90 days of videos, just begging and pleading with anyone and everyone who will listen to, get involved with this organization to help out their brothers and sisters and serve something bigger than themselves. For my personal company, I talk to, a lot of people every day on a daily basis. civilians, veterans alike, who really just don't know how they can get involved. They want to get involved to stop the suicide epidemic that plagues our communities, but they don't know where to start. Well, we have the opportunity for you. It's right here. You can start right here, and this can take you a long way for forming your own ideas on how you can help and get involved. So that's the big push right now, man. Is just I need people. I need a massive amount of people, and it's not easy, but I know with 20 million veterans across the country, we can get this done.
Yeah. And I think it would also highlight the desire for veterans to help other veterans. Like I think that you guys can really capitalize on that, because whether or not you're in crisis now, or maybe you were in crisis at one point, how it feels, so you want to return the favor and help out another vet whenever they're really at their lowest. So if we can really, and that's why I wanted to highlight you guys and put you guys on the platform on MBR, and just because we have at least, I think we have 30 veteran podcasters now, all with different audience sizes, and like if we can reach out and broadcast this out to as many people as possible, I'm down to do that on my platform for sure. But I'm pretty sure Joel is the head honcho behind the scenes running the show, and I'm pretty sure he would be down to help out as much as possible too. So yeah, so when it comes to recruitment, you have the first responders. Can you give a little bit of what kind of responsibilities some of the first responders would have?
Yeah, man. So if you sign up as just a regular responder, your basic responsibility is to get out in the community, spread awareness about what's going on with QRF Up, what we are, how we work, all that good stuff. We'll provide you with all the pitch decks, the recruiting materials, all that good stuff, Z folds that you'll need. It's taken a little bit to get that stuff out right now, but we're getting better at it. Also, just anytime there's a call that can't be resolved by someone like yourself, a mental health care provider, if it's within 100 miles of your location in that state, you'll get a notification, and you'll be expected to go respond. Part of being a responder is about 30 hours, between 25 and 30 hours of training on psycharmor.com, I believe. You'll get an email once you sign up with all the links to all of those trainings. There's 11 different trainings. In order to even be an active responder, you must complete those. It's like a CYA thing. It's also educational. There's really a lot of good stuff in there. It's not super demanding. It's just a time commitment. So that's what it looks like to be a regular responder. In addition to that, we're going to have state leads and region leaders. And as a state lead, obviously, we all are familiar with chain of command in the military, also in the first responder world. It's a paramilitary organization, so they're structured very similar to us. It's just to help, kind of funnel all that information down to the lowest and then back up to the highest levels. So, region leads will talk to me. They'll manage all of their state leaders in their region, and then state leaders will just kind of be there to answer questions for regular responders, to grab some of those certifications and take some of the burden off of, ultimately me, who is doing all of that right now, because I don't know that I could handle, well, what's 11 times 20? That's a lot of certificates that I have to go put in folders and keep track of. So, it's really not demanding. This is a volunteer spot. There is no compensation attached to this. This is really, you being a good human to other good humans who need you to help them out, and that's really, all it is, man. It's just spreading awareness in the community, being a decent human to other humans, and really trying to help our brothers and sisters stop taking their own lives.
Nice. Yeah. So when you go up to the next level, like, we're talking about because I have a little bit of a community of social workers, peers and on LinkedIn and things like that. So when it comes to that level of responder, can you kind of give a little bit of, background on what to expect for that level?
Yeah, that one's going to be hard because I wasn't supposed to be recruiting for mental health care professionals. We were supposed to have someone else do that. So I have now taken that on. So I'm still trying to get my legs beneath me with that one. I'm going to default to Mark on this because he brought the guy in that was supposed to be doing this. So he knows a little bit more than I do. And I'm not going to try and put misinformation out there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I got it, Adam. So yeah, we are working on that. Obviously, as a social worker yourself, you understand that you're in a pretty high demand area right now, and that's hard to actually kind of break free of. So we are looking at implementing our social workers in. We're also doing a college outreach program. So that way, when you're done with that and you're going into your actual PhD programs and different things, we can get hours established for you, and that'll fall under the different colleges and different things. So anybody that is willing to volunteer their time, right? This isn't going to be a, oh, you come into our call center type ordeal, right? Like it's based around your schedule, your time frame. Like, hey, yeah, I can cover it, every Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 to midnight. Sure, like I got a light schedule the next days. It's not a big deal, right? Um, and that way we can just kind of plug in and fill in the gaps, excuse me, with when and where that all is and what that looks like. So we are still building out the program, and just to kind of capitalize and explain the methodology behind that as well too. So it's coming really from like village stability operations, right? So, and for any listeners that really aren't up to date on that type of jazz, right? It is where you would send in a team into a specific area, and that team would go out and recruit from that area, right? And they would go talk to different village elders. They would go be like, hey, what does your village need? What do you guys need with this? We all know that we want veterans to stop committing suicide. I'm tired of getting the calls that my friends are dead at their own hands. All right. And it's getting to be too much that it's happening more and more and more frequently, and I don't know how many more I can take personally, right? And so we know that's the problem. All right, so we're getting out there, we're recruiting those individuals to kind of come in, and then right, they come in, they receive the training, right, just like we would with an ODA team out in the middle of nowhere Afghanistan, right? So they receive that training through Psych Armor, or our mental health professionals get all the metrics and everything that we need to meet for those calls coming in. It is all set up through the app. So the notifications will come over the app, the calls will come over the app. All of it is set up through there in the backside support channels. You will also have all the digital metrics there as well to use on your computer or the application on your phone. I would recommend a computer, but right, like it's a little much to not do on that. But with that, then we can then continue to push awareness and build out those different locations in each state. All right, because originally we were just trying to push and push and push, and it wasn't getting done. So we had to come back to the drawing board on it. Like, okay, guys, like, how do we make this work and get these states to work autonomously, but with our oversight with everything that we can offer? And that's the plan we came up with, and that's kind of how we're driving that and seeing it. So for those mental health providers to have that appropriate backside support, yes, I need to get my boy in there a little bit more and plugging and playing on some of that stuff. But also we really do, and this is on a recruiting side, we need you know a psychiatrist with an actual MD or PhD to come in and be on the board with us to help advise with a lot of those different things. So if there is any listeners out there in doing that, right, like, we need help, and you know we definitely need somebody out there to help guide us in that realm, because at the end of the day, that's not my specialty, and it's not Adam's specialty. It's, and Joe, I don't even know if it's your specialty, right?
No,
Like,
no, it's not.
and it's because it's so advanced, and then having to meet the criteria for by state, because every state is different. So we're fighting those battles, and we are cutting that red tape day in and day out. But for the love of God, someone please help me, because I am a rock farmer, y'all. All right. Like, and that's just the truth.
Just a bunch of dumb grunts.
Right, we're here, we're making differences, but we definitely need to lean on people's expertise and go with that. So if anybody has the time or the ability to come in and help us and help guide us with that, please by all means reach out to Adam or I personally.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, this being money in the military, I do want to touch on that there is a financial kind of assistance or financial help program that you guys are implementing or trying to implement. Can you talk about that a little bit?
100%. So We're still in the works, all right, and not to come out, but Ryan Hammer, um, he's a friend, I promise. So Ryan owns the Veterans Funding Team, and they originally started out working with just doing VA home loans and then buying out VA home loans to get vets better interest rates and doing it that way. He is now building out an entire corporate structure for his banking system, and just making leaps and bounds in that aspect. Because one of the biggest friction points I had, right, and I told y'all I was just MEB'd out, right, and it was great. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you got 100%, you got 80% Army. That sounds awesome. Took them 7 months to pay me, right?
Yeah.
What is one of the main crucial points that people fight about or that people commit suicide over? It's money,
Yeah.
right? I can't support my family. I can't, do what I'm supposed to do because I'm incapable of regulating at certain times and I'm not getting things done the way I need to, right?
Yeah.
So we have Ryan Hammer and the Veteran Funding Team. They are definitely jumping in to help build programs through their banking system to directly challenge USA and Navy Fed, just to be transparent.
Mm-hmm.
And they because and they're doing great things. They're doing a great job, with the other institutions that are out there. But at the end of the day, is it truly for veterans by veterans? So Ryan only hires veterans
Mm.
and guys who are getting out who don't have any financial background. He will help you get through the education process. He'll give you a job in the meantime, and then you have a job in finance in his company or go to another. And he's building that program out as a veteran himself, and it's phenomenal. And like my company personally is transferring over. I'm hoping to be his first corporate client, but as well too, right? Like I want to support the right people and the right things, and Ryan is 100% one of the right people that we need to be pushing on and leaning on to for his expertise in that world.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was doing a little bit of a deep dive on the relation of financial struggles and suicidality, and obviously there's a huge link there. It's one of those things though, like you said, it may not be directly related, it might not be the direct cause, but it's a fact, it's a huge factor. It permeates every aspect of their lives. So yeah, so I guess is there a scenario where you could give us where maybe a veteran is struggling with, they can't pay their mortgage this month or they can't pay their car note or something like that? Would that be something that would provide a little bit of a temporary assistance, like something like that, or what kind of financial programs are you guys looking to implement?
Yeah, 100%. That is a financial program that we are looking to implement, right? So, and that it is going to be funneled through our partnerships. Obviously, it's not something like we can do directly. We're still funding and building out our funding plans to just get the app off the ground for crisis response. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of people out there that need help, but that's where we're relying on our partnerships directly.
Mm,
And the main one there is Ryan. And then as well, we'd like to build up a donation, fund for things like that as well too. Obviously with all in due time, you know what I mean? So, and we do not have that built at this time. So,
mhm,
because we just started taking donations and selling
mhm.
merchandise yesterday.
Wow.
Up to this point, we are completely self-funded out of all
Mhm,
of our own pockets, and out of all of our own company pockets, because majority of us are
mhm.
entrepreneurs. So we've been, shaking the company tree to get things done. Um, but we are now selling merchandise. We are taking donations on our website, and that is where those funds are going to be used for, right? And obviously, just intervening in crisis for veterans. Another thing for our responders, where we've been tossing around the idea of gas cards. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like $25 to throw in the tank. And not everybody needs it, but some people do. And if you're responding to a call and doing those different things, that might be something that would help, or even potentially vehicles in certain areas, or and just
mhm.
building this outreach state by state, of course. But it's a massive undertaking. But
Yeah.
I think as much as we can give back, we need to, and I think that's really where it's going to come down.
Yeah. Yeah, and well, obviously with MBR is kind of, we're in a similar boat. We're all, just volunteer led, and we're just kind of bootstrapping everything. So we definitely we feel that a lot. But our hearts are in the right place. We're just trying to help people and help veterans. But I did want to ask a little bit about this is obviously reactionary, kind of the whole mission is that. But you guys mentioned a little bit of maybe a proactive or preventative care. Like what kind of programs are you guys looking at for preventative stuff?
Oh man, we've brought on several different partners. The first one that comes to mind is Fob Razor. He's an old gunny in the Marines. He started Fob Razor, and his whole thing, he claims, his words, he's AA, NA, PTSDA, TBIA, really getting in there and working. He's trying to work with 150 dudes a week. I think it's something insane, and so you've got that. We're partnered with I forget the name of the company. This is going to bite me in the ass, I'm sure, but it's they do outdoor adventure stuff with snowmobiles in what state are they in, Mark? The whole snowmobile thing that
they should be. I want to say they're out of Colorado. Hold on, I'll pull it up.
We've partnered with the Marine Scout Sniper Foundation or Association, which one? Just really trying to get in front of all of these, particularly veteran and first responder organizations, to see what they can provide. We just had a really awesome podcast this past weekend with a firefighter out in Iowa, I believe, and he's got a whole yoga mindfulness program going on. All of this stuff, that helped me heal in my journey. We're seeking this stuff out, right? In the future, I would like to try and get some of the plant medicine type nonprofits, more holistic healing nonprofits on board to start providing, some aftercare programs. And there's so many good people out there doing so much work that really what we're trying to do is all partner together and share resources and different things, and just really take care of the community instead of fighting each other for onesies and twosies. If we all come together and work together, we can all make a big dent in this epidemic.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's definitely it starts from probably even before you leave the service, all the different services that are available. But once you leave the service, I think a lot of vets really do feel like they're kind of on their own on an island sometimes. And I think having these organizations is going to be huge to at least giving a sense of community and camaraderie back to some of these vets. I recently stumbled upon, I don't know if you guys are partnered with Irreverent Warriors, but I just recently heard about them, and they do kind of these, they use comedy and humor and just being kind of silly and they go on these hikes wearing the silkies and all this other stuff. So they're trying to build up, a positive, funny, fun environment for veterans to kind of tell some dark jokes maybe, or get some of that out of the system that maybe they've been holding out in the civilian world. So organizations like that, I definitely I found out there's a chapter here in Memphis, so I'm gonna go to one of their events and put on some short shorts and go walk around and hike in the city of Memphis. So that should be fun. But yeah, so I think that's the other thing, that there's a lot of great organizations out here that want to help, but it's just connecting them to the right people at the right time. So yeah, so man, all right, well, let's take a little bit of a breather. We'll take a little bit of a musical break, and we'll come back here in a second, and we'll talk to you guys a little bit more about QRF Up.
It's the guts and it's the glory, 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, hear the line. Mr. Red, only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop. And his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down his life. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on the front line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, pay the ultimate price. He was the man of the house when he was born. His family is proud but torn. But if you knew him, you would understand. He was raised on how to be brave, just to see the flag still wave. And then he came home with only one hand. 'Cause Mr. Red, White, and Blue lay down his life. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on these front lines. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, he'll pay the ultimate price. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down his life. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. March in line, march in line. Hey. Hey.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
All right, welcome back. We have QRF up, Mark Messina, Adam Peters. This is Money in the Military on Military Broadcast Radio, where we're giving veterans a voice, and the veterans that we're giving a voice to are doing some great things. So we're talking about QRF up and the organization. It's a private org. Just like MBR, we're basically we run on donations and help from the community. So I just wanted to highlight that we're trying to do. We're all on the same team. We're all trying to fight the good fight. But we need help sometimes, and that comes in the form of donations and help. And so if you have connections, if this is something that resonates with you, either at the volunteer level, at the mental health clinician level, or if you've got big wallets and you like to help out the vets, then let's put our money where our mouth is, and help out these organizations like QRF Up. So with that being said, I was going to show real quick. The website, you did mention that you guys are taking donations now, which is great. Let me see, pull this up. But then I think I mentioned it in the last episode. You can be a volunteer. You guys have events, upcoming events. So you guys are doing like local events and stuff too, to kind of bring awareness to what you guys are doing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So the events here we're kind of pulling from national to push on. And
Okay.
as we build out each state and they get into their soft and their hard launch, we're hoping that each state can run an event throughout the year as well too, right? Whether it's, a hero's ride for, the motorcycle riders in the state, or, anything like that, any other nonprofit events that they want to get out there and help with and set up. Really, you know what I mean? And I think you absolutely hit it. I appreciate you bringing up our website. So we have a donation tab up there at the top. It runs, right off that, and you can sit there
Mhm.
and make a donation, smallest of $1, right? I don't care if you
Yeah.
got a big wallet or a small wallet, right?
Right.
If I can get, 1,000 people to donate $1, we're in a better
Mhm.
place and we can help more people than we could yesterday,
There you
right?
go.
So,
There you
and
go.
then as well too, right? Like, and I'm about this too. We also have a shop page up there. We just
Mhm.
started putting up some more merch. Don't worry, it's going to get better. All right, y'all. Listen, I'm not a designer. Okay, we just went in and we've got some QRF up swag
Nice,
that
nice.
we're getting out there for everybody. Right, we've got a little bit of something for everyone,
Mhm.
and all that money goes directly into QRF up. Okay,
Right.
so we're taking that, and that is another way to, one, obviously increase awareness, but then as well to help raise some funds that we don't have to strictly rely on grants and other things that come with even more red tape, because then they can tell you exactly what you need to do with the money. Case in point of
Yes.
soldiers, like, oh man, I need $100 to get this fixed. Like, we can do that with money out of
Mhm.
these pools. We cannot do that with grants. We cannot do that with, STEM packages. We
Mhm.
cannot do that with those because they
Yeah.
have to be directly tied to a metric. So this is where those opportunities really come from. And then as
Mhm.
well too, getting into our events and sponsorship, right?
Yeah.
So I can talk through that real quick too. For
Mhm.
our events, right? So I've got 3 events listed up right now. Obviously, the first one is coming up in September. We're giving away that snowmobile out there and being supported out there for that. It's great. Um, the main event that we are planning out currently is the range day that is going to be.
Oh, I think we lost Mark. So he's talking about the
Uh-oh.
range day in November 11th. We're running a range day. I believe that's
There it
a
is. Okay.
five state range day. I don't know a lot about the events. That's Mark's area expertise, but that one's
Mhm.
really cool. So five states across the country at the same time on the same day are going to be running this range day event, and who doesn't enjoy a good range day, right? Like, go out, blow off
Right.
some steam, shoot some rounds, put some rounds down range. I know there's an event. If you happen to be in Iowa this weekend, there's an event in Iowa. They're running that. So, the rest of the boards out there in Iowa putting on that event this weekend. So if you happen to be out in Iowa and you can make that one, that would be awesome. And here's Mark. He can tell you more about the range day.
Hey, I got dropped off. Sorry, guys. It only happened twice. It's fine. I just can't touch my computer. I think that's the rule of thumb here. But yeah, no, we're looking at doing a range day. And my company's putting it on and sponsoring it. We're planning on doing anyway. It's actually why I came to QRF up in the first place, was to host an event for them. So we're doing it. And we are looking at doing it at 5 ranges across the United States. Currently, if you are a range owner or have anything like that, hit me up. I would love to get it in more states and do it in more places. We are currently getting in raffle prizes. We are getting in some silent auction prizes, maybe potentially an armored vehicle for silent auction. I don't know if y'all can see my shirt, but I might be calling you out a little bit to call me back. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I
right.
live
I
in
tried to
Memphis,
win
so an
last.
armored vehicle would be really helpful sometimes.
Right. And yeah, it's going to be up for a silent auction item and working those different things out and getting them out there. But, we're going to put on a family friendly events at each of the different locations, to where we're going to incorporate, a giant barbecue, obviously some range day events and getting out there, and then some events for the kids and different things like that as well, too. That is just there to build everybody up. We'll be selling merch at each of the locations. We'll offer some discount prizes at them. And then we also have the sponsorships, right? So any of the vendors who want to come in,
Mm.
by all means, can connect with me directly, and I will set up for vendors at each different location. And each location is going to have a little bit of a different vendor fee depending on the venue and the outreach and how large the range is and such forth. As business owners, we all understand that. We know that. Um, but that's really where it comes from. So our gold package is really what we're looking for is veteran-owned businesses or other small businesses who just want to make a difference in the community, right? We're asking for a smaller sum of money, but we're offering to get you out in front of really our entire network. We're building those packages out right now. The platinum level, we're looking a little bit more for some of those major companies and corporations, right? We're talking, SIG, we're talking Glock, we're talking, you know, Bass Pro, those different entities that are out there that have a little bit thicker of a wallet that can help us out. to do the right thing, but, aren't really in that, dynamic to where they're making a major difference or this truly impacts them. However, when it comes to diamond, right, I'm looking for our industry leaders. Okay. When it comes to that stuff, I want, diamond resorts. I want, some of these other major corporations, Boeing. I want, you know what I mean? Like that's really who I'm looking for to bring in. And I'm limiting the amount of diamond, platinum, and gold members that we're taking in. So as it stands right now, I'm only taking 10 diamond sponsors. That's it.
Mm.
Because that's what we can currently offer in our marketing plan to really tie those businesses in and give them that recognition that they deserve for helping us build this organization up and do the right thing. For platinum, only 50. That's it. I'm not taking any more. And then for gold, I'm willing to take in 100 at this point. And then event sponsors, those are obviously going to be dictated by each event and how much space we have for vendors and sponsorships to actually come out and go do it. So we have that set up. The contact point goes directly to my email off that website, and you'll get directly in touch with me, and we can actually start chatting about what those look like for other events we have coming up too. So the internal events that we're planning right now is one is the range day that we're putting on, because I already had the ball rolling on that, and then somehow they put me in charge of things. I don't know why, but they did. Right. So, you know what I mean? Like, we've got the range day. After that, we do want to run a gala. All right. We are looking at doing it in either one of two locations, Southwest Florida or Vegas. So if anybody throws in any comments or anything like that, like, give us a spread on really where you want to go. I mean, I know where I want to go. Right. It's Vegas, but you know what I mean? Like, it's something
Every
that we all
time.
need to take into
Every
account
time.
for and set up and do. And then
Man.
after that too, we're also looking at doing a golf outing, but I don't want to do just a singular golf outing. I want to get 10 golf courses across the United States to host the same shotgun event obviously not at the same time. It's got to be staggered due to time zones, but at the same time, relatively. And I want to get out there and do lives at each one of these events. I want to have, all veteran owned businesses out there as sponsors, showing off what they've got, what they're doing in their community, and how we can not only take, just what we're doing, but make it a holistic picture to actually support our communities, build up the people in it, right? And make a real difference. Like, just be better, man. And that's what
Yeah.
we're trying to do.
Well, I'm here for it. Like I said, I'm going to use my platform, my voice, and my time to help. Once again, we're all on the same team. We're all trying to fight the good fight. So, unfortunately, we have run out of time, but I do want to have you guys on again, and we can continue this conversation and keep this going, because it never ends. It's a constant battle. So we got to keep fighting the good fight. So yeah, just if where are some ways that we can people can get in touch with you if they wanted to reach out to you directly?
Absolutely. You can go to www.qrfup.org is our website. You can do any of our social handles are at qrfup.organization. And then my email through QRFUp is mark@qrfup.on Microsoft. It is com. Yes, com. I mix it up if it's org or not. And then, you guys can send us those out, or if you need to hit me on my company email, because it's something like that, that's mmessina@graygrouptactical.com. So either of those will get in touch with me. And then Adam, if you want to shoot yours.
Yeah, man. My email for QRFUp is adam@qrfup.onmicrosoft.com. Really, what I need you guys to do is go follow me on TikTok and Instagram. That's my big push right now, to get in front of the most amount of people as possible. The TikTok is qrfup.organization. And I'm a social media kind of idiot, so I'm using my personal Instagram page, which is, I believe, Pete0585. Every day for the next 90 days is a video up there, and there's a little something from today's video for 3 more people. So I highly suggest those of you listening go check it out. Get yourself a chance to earn some freebies.
Nice. Well, Adam, Mark, it's been great talking to you guys. I'm hoping that we can do this again in the future, and obviously, I'm here to fight the good fight, and I'm going to try to recruit as many people as I possibly can to fight with me. So, I just wanted to thank you both for your time, and if like I said, if anyone has any questions, reach out to you guys, and we'll keep fighting the good fight.
Appreciate it, brother.
All right, thanks, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.